Oh, by the way, this guy doesn't like you much. He likes me.
Yeah.
Like, but don't tell anybody that.
What I'm telling you is private.
Yeah, this is between us two. It's girl talk.
Dear Shandy. Welcome back to another Dear Shandy Bachelor recap, listeners. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm good. It's an exciting time.
Yes, we are in Vancouver for anyone who is seeing us and they're like, where are you? What is this weird stuff? So this is one of the weirder setups. Can I just say?
This is weird. This ranks up there.
We've got a good view. You can't really appreciate it from here, but we have a view of Stanley Park. It's really nice. We're in Vancouver and we came here on a moment's notice because they asked me to possibly jump in for their soprano in Vancouver Opera's production of Flight on opening night because I know the role.
No big deal.
And I had pretty light rehearsals in in Seattle, so I got a leave of absence to come, but it didn't happen.
No.
I was rehearsed and everything, but she felt well enough to go on, which is a good thing. I shouldn't sound disappointed. But you know, like when there's a lot of hype, you're on standby, you're sort of like, am I going to go on? And am I going to go on? Is she able to do it? But she was, which is good.
Yeah.
Yes. So we came here for nothing. So anyway, that's why we're in Vancouver, but we'll be back in Seattle next time. Shall we get going? Oh, we have a couple more things to talk about in housekeeping today, actually.
We do.
So 2 things, right?
2 things.
One is reviews. Yeah. And it's kind of like connected to the other thing, which we want to talk about, which is ads.
Yeah.
Before we get going. So this is a reminder that if you like Dear Shandy, don't be one of those silent sleuthers who just listens and doesn't leave reviews. Because I think that what happens with reviews is, you can go to the Yelp of any restaurant and see only 5 stars and only 1 stars.
Yes,
right?
That's correct.
Because usually people have to either love it or hate it to leave a review.
It's amazing that people leave 3 stars.
I know.
It's like, really?
Andy has a big beef with 3-star reviews.
Commit.
But yeah, if you're a Shandy, if you identify as a Shandy, if you tune in week after week and you enjoy what you listen to, you have no idea how helpful it is for us as a podcast to receive 5-star reviews. It's like, I wish it didn't matter as much as it does.
I wish so too.
But it really, really does matter. It helps us grow. It helps with our visibility. It's just, it helps us be around, basicly, be around longer.
Exist.
If you want your Shandy to exist for as long as possible, then you can help us by leaving 5 stars.
That sounds like blackmail. Watch out.
Kind of like threatening them. But think about it this way. There are obviously going to be people who don't like us.
Oh, yeah.
And we have been getting some
harsh reviews.
We've been getting some harsh reviews, which is a little heartbreaking because I feel like we've been becoming more ourselves than ever.
Yeah.
And so it's a little like heartbreaking when you feel like you're most comfortable and your Shandies feel like your friends. And then they're like, that thing you said, I hate you now. I'm not listening to you anymore. So, just a reminder that not to only leave reviews when you hate something. Is all I'm saying. In life in general, not just us, with restaurants too.
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to touch on is ads, because some of the reviews we've been getting have been about ads. Yeah. How many ads? The number of ads.
Too many ads.
We make a concerted effort not to put our content behind a paywall, which, a lot of podcasts do, or they put partial content behind a paywall. This is something we have considered, but we've always wanted our content to be accessible. And, we're open to. We've had people request paywall, like just extra content behind a paywall. So it's not like we're not considering that, but it's something we really make an effort to do, is to make our content accessible. And that requires ads. We put a lot of time and a lot of effort. As you can see, we're in Vancouver. We put a lot of effort into this. And also on top of that, we turn away ads. Like, if you were to watch a show on TV and see how many ads how many minutes of ads you get to how many minutes of content.
Oh, it's definitely more.
And we actually take fewer ads per episode than we could.
Probably turn down 75% of our sponsors?
Well, definitely 75% of potential sponsors. But in terms of even filling spots within an episode, I know that podcasts put more ads per minute in their podcast, but we make an effort not to. So don't hate the players, we're all in this together. We're creating something that would otherwise just be for free. Like we would be doing it for free. So, and don't look at ads as like us trying to get you. We really only do choose sponsors that we really love. And we really put a lot of effort into our ads too, to make them like enjoyable and entertaining. So just something to think about. It kind of got us down, honestly, this morning. We've been a little down heading into this recording. Andy made the mistake of looking at some reviews before recording.
I did.
I don't know when he's going to learn his lesson.
I'm a gambler. I like the risk. I like the thrill.
Are you a day trader?
Oh.
A bit of a day trader with those reviews, Andy. So I just wanted to get that out of the way before we get with today's recap. Just, we're all in this together and we consider you guys like you're our Shandies. And I would like to think that we're like, it's like the parasocial relationship goes both ways.
It does.
Yeah. So don't underestimate how much we really do try to make this a very symbiotic relationship all around.
Yeah. And if you're going to be hurtful with your words, make it really hurtful. I think some of you haven't been trying hard enough.
Oh my God. I can't believe I forgot. We have one more bit of housekeeping to touch on. I know you
Should
guys
we just
are
do a whole episode on housekeeping?
No, but this is relevant to the franchise. So this isn't just
this is a major piece of housekeeping. We just got word that they are skipping The Bachelorette this year. Skipping The Bachelorette?
They're not going to do it. And we know, we have it on good authority. They're doing Paradise.
Oh, yeah.
So you think they're just taking a break?
Well, they've done it before.
They have?
Oh, I'm pretty sure they've done it with either The Bachelor or I think The Bachelorette.
It's always The Bachelorette. The Bachelorette's like
I'm pretty sure.
Stepsister. They're like, that's the one that we can let go.
Yeah. In the pandemic, they definitely did.
Oh, you think? But that was the pandemic. And it was just postponed.
Okay, well then, yeah.
I don't know. You guys let us know. To me, this was kind of crazy news. Like, we've known that the numbers are dropping on this show, but I hadn't realized that the numbers might have dropped to the point where they're like canceling a season.
Whoever they had available to be Bachelorette from this season, ABC was like, nah, it's not going to cut it. Like,
I have no idea.
That's not going to do well.
Well, I think they're putting a lot behind Golden Bachelor.
Okay.
Like, you see the notice. I feel like we see more, do you want to date the next Golden Bachelor than the next Bachelorette these days?
Right.
And I know that Paradise, they're really trying to put a lot behind Paradise. So
they're chasing ratings now. It's a race to the bottom, sadly.
You think chasing
what
ratings?
Are people going to watch? As opposed to, we know what's good. We're going to feed it to them.
Yeah.
Instead, they're like, what do you need? You want more salt? You want more pepper?
But yeah, I don't know. This felt kind of like the canary in the coal mine. I was like, oh.
It felt a little scary.
Yeah.
It might be.
I would be sad if this franchise.
Circling the old drain.
I hope not.
I hope not too.
This franchise honestly is a place of comfort for me.
It's comfort food.
Yes.
Yeah, we need comfort food, especially in these times.
Yes, escapism and comfort food.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't do this, ABC.
No,
You can take a break. You can take a break. We take breaks sometimes. You can take a break too, but don't take a vacation forever.
Yes. Okay, shall we get going, Andy?
Yes.
All right, so episode 3 picks up with an amusing conversation where Parissa talks about how she dreamed some man was trying to rip her teeth out.
Damn, Parissa always delivers.
Also, this is my recurring nightmare, except there's not a man in my...
No, your teeth just fall out.
Yeah,
right?
in my recurring nightmare, the teeth, I'm just like gritting
They're
them
loose.
so hard and they start like pressing against each other and like shattering out of my mouth.
Well, you're a dentist's daughter.
Yeah.
I mean,
teeth are a thing for me.
That's a thing
it's
for
a fear.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Natalie dreamed a baby penguin imprinted on her.
Oh, that's
a cute dream.
Did she really have that dream?
Okay, so Jesse arrives and delivers the news that there will be a group date and 2 one-on-ones. Going on this group date are Natalie, Bailey, Alex, Allie Jo, Chloe, Serafina, Dina, Parissa, Rose, Zoe, Litia, and Juliana. So Carolina and Beverly will be the ones getting one-on-one dates, supposedly, but we'll get to that later. So the ladies speculate they'll be doing something related to Grant's day trading career, and a song that goes "Looking for a Man in Finance" plays. And Grant talks a bit about his career. This is the whole fight, Andy. Okay, do you want to talk about this, Andy? The finance thing, the day trading?
I think I've said my piece.
Apparently, day trading is a fancy word for
gambling.
But you
can be a good gambler. There are guys who make a living as professional gamblers and they consistently win. They're cheating. You can't win at gambling just by being lucky.
You have to know how to count cards or like fix games or something.
Yeah.
But there are guys who do it, and there are day traders who make a good living doing it. But it is gambling. And it is not technically a job in finance. You are dealing with financial instruments.
So 2 weeks ago, when you first went on this diatribe, some people said, "Oh, my husband / boyfriend." No, they said my husband / boyfriend is a trader at an investment firm.
That's a job.
A trader, but
that's a job.
But the word day
is not a job.
Okay.
Day is a thing you do on your own. You can be good at it. You can be bad at it. I'm going to stand my ground on this. If someone shows me a business card of someone working at a legitimate company, a company that people know about, not some company that no one on earth knows about. If you show me a business card, a screenshot of a business card that says the name and the bank, whatever it is, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, I don't care. Okay. And it says day trader on it, I will personally...
No. You don't have to personally do it. We will put it up here on the screen next time, and we'll blur out the names, but it'll just be a giant "I told you so."
Yes, I will receive the ultimate "I told you so." I will relish it. I will put a bib on. I will have a knife and fork, and I will eat it delicately.
Yes. Okay, so they're joined by Daniel Lubetsky, who I guess is this finance guy. Oh. He was on, I do recognize him from Shark Tank, but he didn't do a whole lot in this deal. No. Just saying, because the main person is Hannah Berner, who I guess is a comedian.
Well, ironically, the person who had nothing to do with finance did more, but
she was pretty amusing.
Yeah, she was good. So, she asked the right question. Why am I here?
Yeah, they are at the Bachelor School of Finance, where they'll be earning Grant bucks to spend at the cocktail party. What were your thoughts on this whole Grant bucks thing? This felt like a bit of a Survivor ripoff to me, but it didn't work in quite the same way for a number of reasons. First of all, in Survivor, like you win food or an advantage at a later challenge. But when the prize is really just Grant and he's the one choosing, I don't know, like getting his t-shirt.
Are you really analyzing this?
Like it actually kind of made me cringe a bit.
I actually was clutching pearls. I felt like this was inappropriate. Okay. I felt like this was actually pushing my limits of gender.
Okay.
I felt like it was almost on the level of misogyny.
Okay, the way they're like gathering money to try and like have extra time with him.
Like, oh, you girls don't know anything about finance, and let's ask you softball, ridiculously stupid questions.
Yeah, but it didn't even matter if you knew the answer.
It didn't matter. Yeah. The whole thing was a sham.
I found the idea of the Grant bucks with his face on it. Like, I get that on the surface level, it's cute. But then the fact that, I don't know, Bailey, like in her ITM, when she was like making it rain, and then she's like, oh, but actually I do need this. And she's gathering it to then buy a t-shirt that belongs to Grant that smells like him.
The whole thing was gross.
I guess I am clutching my pearls
on several levels. The whole concept I felt uncomfortable with, and then the prizes I felt uncomfortable with, and I felt Grant's reaction was weird too.
Yeah.
Like he should have been making much more fun of this thing.
Yeah, I think it should have been more high value, where it's like the person who wins most Grant bucks can buy a one-on-one date.
Or make him do something really embarrassing.
Yes. Something that's like...
He's got to pay too. He's too in charge in this game.
Yes. Yeah, even like when he gave her the t-shirt, he was like, oh, she's like, it smells like you. And he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, what is like, it's just weird. It's a weird game.
It's so awful.
Good potential. Great potential.
Is there potential
with that? Bad closure with the game.
I don't know if there's potential with that.
If they asked real finance questions and there was real prizes.
Bailey was the perfect person to have won the most Grant bucks.
Yeah,
she
I agree.
Is fabulous in this role.
Bailey, I wanted to see more of Bailey.
Yeah, she was a real hoot. And I think it was kind of shocking when she went home at the end of this episode, actually. It also went to show that those Grant bucks were really worthless.
Worthless. They're like those, what were those? What was it? Zimbabwe? Remember when Zimbabwe had that insane inflation where like the weight of the money you'd have to pay for a loaf of bread was like, you couldn't even carry it. It would be like 600 pounds of Zimbabwean dollars to buy a loaf of bread.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was back in I think the 90s.
Oh, that's
They had
awful.
some insane hyperinflation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I forget what the name of the dollar was back then in Zimbabwe, but it was pretty rough.
Are you resisting making a comment about the Canadian dollar while we're here, Auntie?
I am, but I am enjoying it. Let me tell you something. I went to Whole Foods today and I was just like, ring it up, baby. Oh, that peanut butter, $6? No, give me the $15 peanut butter.
So Bailey receives a menu with options involving Grant, and she opts for the t-shirt. She's adorable. This concept was not. And now we have time with Parissa. And I think a lot of us might have written off this time as being like kind of jokey time. They're playing Chubby Bunny, which by the way, I thought Chubby Bunny was played with marshmallows. And the only reason I know this or thought this is because of Love is Blind. Oh no, Ultimatum. It was Ultimatum.
I think it is.
It's marshmallows?
I think so.
I feel like Rice Krispie Treats is way harder.
Also dangerous.
I mean, their mouths.
I think all chubby hubby,
Chubby Bunny.
Chubby Bunny. I think that's a dangerous game.
Should we do it sometime?
It's a choking hazard.
I can't. There's nothing you would rather do less than that. Andy hates marshmallows.
I don't like marshmallows, and I don't like my mouth being too full with food.
The women now are talking about how much fun that day was, how much fun everyone was having, and Zoe was like, "I wasn't."
Zoe.
This right there says it all. I've got to say.
She really lightens things up.
I can't even imagine a world in which I would be around a group of people who were not super, super, super close friends. And they're like, what a great day. Like, it was such a fun day.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, no, it wasn't. Not for me.
Right?
Like what
She's
that
such a killjoy.
Yeah, and it says so much about her. Of course, we see so much about Zoe that makes it very Zoe. Like she's a particular flavor. I think she loves to play victim. Yeah. But the fact that just even in this nice, harmonious conversation, this girl chat that's been prompted by a producer, it's like, how was today, girls? And they're like, it was good. Let's just get to the end of the date. Like, let's not have anything happen. We're all happy. It was a good time. She's like, I didn't have fun. Like she goes out of her way.
Yeah, she's a real pain in the ass.
She kind of is. Yeah. And she starts to cry now and about how she felt out of place that day.
No idea.
Like, come on. And here we get the famed, "That's the shortest dress I've ever seen in my life" comment from Sarah Fina. And I couldn't really make out what happened here. Did Zoe overhear this or did someone report back to Zoe? I felt like stuff happened off camera or like the cameras didn't catch it and it was a shame. It felt like
I didn't understand that either.
We missed the connective tissue. Yeah. So Andy, I'm wearing Skims today. But
you think I didn't know
that? I don't think you did. Normally you can tell I'm wearing Skims when it's like
I don't need to know in my brain. I know in my body that you're wearing Skims.
Well, I'm wearing overalls, but underneath my overalls, I'm wearing my Skims Soft Lounge tank, which I'm obsessed with. I think this is the perfect example of how Skims basics can be incorporated to any outfit. And by the way, I'm also wearing my Fits Everybody t-shirt bra under that tank. And look, no straps poking through. It just fits. It fits everybody. It fits perfectly for everybody. I should just show what I'm talking. No, seriously, look at this perfect white. Seriously, it sounds simple. Oh, like a white ribbed tank. What's the big deal? It is hard to find the perfect white tank where the armholes aren't too big, not too small, where it's got the right stretch. Look how stretchy. And the bra, look how perfectly it fits underneath. So smooth, perfect skin color. By the way, they have many colors. It's another peeve of mine when it only comes in 2 colors, as if people are 2 colors. Mine is ochre. That's my color.
You're ochre?
Yeah, that's the shade that I wear in the underwear.
What the hell is ochre?
That's the name of the shade.
It takes away all the imperfections you'll see in a tank.
Yes.
There's no lines. There's no ripples. There's no bumps. It's just a smooth thing. It's like it's painted on.
Well, the bra is also to thank for that. The Fits Everybody t-shirt bra is my holy grail. I have it in 4 colors now. I even have the dark brown color to just go with when I'm wearing brown, so that if like it does show, I'm just like, oh, it matches.
I'll tell you, I've seen a lot of bras in my day. And if I was a woman, I would not think about putting anything on my boobs other than Skims.
Okay. So shop Skims Best Intimates, including the Fits Everybody collection and more at skims.com and at their New York flagship on 5th Avenue.
After you place your order, be sure to let them know we sent you.
Select podcast in the survey and Dear Shandy in the drop-down menu that follows.
And if you're looking for the perfect gift for your Valentine or for yourself,
Skims just launched their best Valentine's shop ever, available in sizes for women, men, and kids.
Sharleen, I never thought I'd say this, but I miss my shower head.
Not just any shower head, Andy. You have to call it your Jolie.
Ma Jolie?
Yes, our Jolie shower head. at home in New York, we miss it because it's not the same without it. It's a special shower head. It's not like other shower heads. It's a cool shower head. It is a filtering shower head that removes chlorine, heavy metals from your water, all these things that affect your skin. They affect your hair. And I get why they're in the water, right? Like we need to have sanitary water coming into our taps, but those are not necessarily things that will make our skin and hair the happiest.
And for those who want to keep their hairs in their head, it is clinically proven to reduce shedding in 81% of users.
And lab tested to reduce hair frizziness by 40%. If you're a frizzy hair girl, I think that's pretty major. And it maintains color retention if you color your hair, and it protects the hair's surface layer.
And chlorine is good to kill the bad things in the water that we don't want.
The bacteria, we want chlorine in our water.
Right, but the job is done when it hits your shower head.
Yes.
You don't need chlorine on your body. Why are you not getting a Jolie? Like you wash your food, you wash your fruits and vegetables, right? You like a washed salad when you eat a salad. Why are you not washing your water before it hits your body?
Totally.
And maybe goes in your mouth and your eyes and your nose and your ears. And your butthole. Head to jolieskinco.com/Shandy to try it out for yourself with free shipping.
And if you don't like it, you can return your Jolie within 60 days for a full refund, no questions asked.
So Sharleen, I've got in my hand right here something that travels with us wherever we go.
Yes, we packed it. I mean, we're in Seattle. We brought it with us.
Fatty 15.
What a name, isn't it? Fatty 15.
That alone. I would take it for just the name.
Don't you want to know more about a product called Fatty 15?
You should.
Especially considering 1 in 3 people may have low C15 levels. This is the first fatty acid to be discovered in 90 years. And the first nutritional deficiency to be discovered in 75 years is cellular fragility syndrome, which is a lack of C15. And C15 doesn't only repair age-related damage to cells, but it helps prevent future breakdown.
One little vegan pill a day is one of the easiest ways to support and maintain overall health.
So basically, when our cells don't have enough C15, the fatty acid C15, they become fragile and they age faster. And by improving your C15 levels, you'll have smoother functioning joints. You will sleep better. You will have improved metabolic, liver, and heart health. Honestly, it goes on and on. Oh, and if you're like, oh, I'm taking my omega-3s, I'm taking my fish oil, C15 is 3 times more potent than omega-3.
If a hurricane is coming on the horizon,
okay,
do you want to live in a little wooden house or a house made of concrete? This is the concrete in your house.
C15 is a sturdy fat. That's what you want supporting your cells. And let me tell you, I am a believer. We really do take 1 pill every single day.
I get anxious if I forget.
I know, me too.
So Fatty 15 is on a mission to replenish your C15 levels and restore your long-term health.
And you can get an additional 15% off their 90-day starter kit by going to Fatty15, that's FATTY15.com/Shandy, and using promo code Shandy at checkout. So Zoe has one-on-one time now where she plays victim and tells Grant about the short dress comment. Look, I understand that emotions are running high here, but to me, I didn't think she needed to be that offended by this.
I agree. I think that she likes to be offended.
For someone who's not afraid to offend other people, I do think Zoe likes to be offended. 100%. Like, to me, I think you could just take the comment about the short dress and be like, that's right.
Yeah. I'm
like, looks good
it.
On me, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, aren't you jealous?
If you have like true confidence, then you could just be like, okay. But Zoe is she goes to victim by default, I feel like.
Yeah.
So Grant gives her the most eloquent pep talk of all time. He says, don't stop being you. And listen. If being you offends other people, you shouldn't stop.
I mean, there's truth to it.
Full circle.
There is truth to it. Circular reasoning also works.
There's a lot of that with Grant.
Grant does a lot of circular reasoning.
And go in a direction and then come back right where he started.
Yeah, it's true because it's true.
Yes. So now Juliana has one-on-one time. We learn Grant loves animals here. And he reveals he developed his crush on Juliana at the basketball game because she was struggling and frustrated. And he said it was cute. And it got me thinking, Andy, about how you have said that the kryptonite for men in a woman is cuteness. Cuteness.
That's it.
It's not necessarily hotness.
Cuteness.
It's cuteness.
Yeah.
I can see that being very cute.
Hotness is fast. I mean, hotness has value, but
Of course.
cuteness is long lasting.
Yeah. Cute. Like her losing her nails, like trying to like track down her nails, her like huffing and puffing, getting frustrated. I can picture that being, if I were a man, that would also.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you can appreciate
100%.
that. You're very cute, by the way. You do everything you do is cute.
Oh, husband.
Even when you're like angry, it's cute. I try not to laugh when you're angry, because that wouldn't be a good look, but it is cute.
I think it's essential in cuteness to not be aware of your cuteness.
Absolutely.
Like Ruby,
Could you imagine if Ruby was aware? It's like, oh my God, don't I look cute today?
she would be 1/10 as cute.
1/10.
Yes.
She would just she'd look cute.
Yes.
That's it. And there'd be nothing else.
Yeah. In fact, I think when someone's told they're cute and then they start acting like this is the thing that people say is cute. Like when a kid does this, they instantly become less cute.
The cutest kids are the kids who don't realize they're cute.
Yes.
That's a cute kid.
Agreed. Okay, so Parissa gets the group date rose. This was rather surprising, but I mean, I was into it.
Yeah.
I like Parissa. Andy, you said Parissa's got a little Barbara Streisand.
Does. No?
I totally see it.
Little in the face.
And the other celebrity doppelganger for me is Allie Joe. I think looks like Kelly from Saved by the Bell. Kelly?
Oh, yes.
Is it Kelly?
Whoever it is. Yeah. Oh, totally. She has a look.
She does.
It's a very specific look.
Yeah.
You know what Allie Joe looks like? She looks like someone from the 80s or the early 90s.
Agreed. And I
in
love
a good way. That's a compliment.
Oh, totally. She leans into it too, I think, with her hair. Like she
yeah.
leans into that. That's her like aesthetic and it works.
By the way, can you believe in this entire time Allie Joe was on television, not one single boxing thing?
I know.
What the hell was that? Did they have so much to work with in this season that they said, oh, no, we don't need that?
I would have loved a boxing date.
It's a little boxing.
They should have pivoted when they discovered she was a boxing trainer.
Just show her shadow boxing, like his
Can you
exercise,
imagine
anything.
her, like a group date, a boxing group date, and then it's her against Zoe?
Oh, thank you.
Am I a sicko? So Grant addresses now the rumors and the quote belittling, insisting they all have to be kind to each other, and he leaves. Grant.
Oh, Grant.
Do you think this was a producer? I think he was encouraged to do this. And I think he did it. Like I don't think that he was forced to do this.
Listen, as soon as Grant was chosen as a Bachelor, I said to you and myself, this guy is going to be out of his depth. He's not a lead.
Yeah.
He's a perfect cast member. We
Yeah.
loved Grant.
We did.
Right? We loved him. But as a lead, I'm telling you right now, that man is going to the producers every day and be like, what do I do today?
Yeah.
Lead me.
Yeah.
This is not the thing he does. He's not the person who does this.
Yeah, and he's very easily rattled by the idea of like rumors of someone like we see with Rose later. Which to me is like a big misunderstanding that Carolina made worse. We'll get to that. But the way Grant handled that, like how upset he got about it, I agree. That was like supporting cast member energy, like to get that upset. That's like contestant energy. Meanwhile, I feel like recent bachelors, I think I've been spoiled by recent bachelors and bachelorettes where they don't put too much stock in what the people are saying. Do you know what I mean?
There is a definite character study of a lead versus a cast member.
Yes.
Grant is a cast member, and he's a good one.
Yeah.
He was one of our favorites on that season.
Yeah, he was very likable on Jen's season.
But as a lead, and it's not that he's not likable. It's just that he's floundering.
Even these pep talks, even when he's like scolding the women, you know, like this is kind of a light scolding, you know, he's giving that sort of like energy here, which we often see from a lead. But it's not... I kind of would want even more commitment. Like if you are going to address the rumors, the belittling, I feel like then go all the way with it and just be like, I heard this. And then I'm like, bring enough to it that it's going to like be something to talk about. Instead, he's just like, we must all be kind to each other. And then leaves. And then that kind of leaves us in this no man's land of like the women being like, well, who was it? What do we do with this?
Also, with the lead, you need full commitment in both directions.
Yes.
In every decision they make, it's got to be full.
Yes.
It's like the captain of an army.
Yeah.
If the captain of an army is like, oh, maybe we should go into battle or maybe we should retreat, the whole army goes into disarray. And you're seeing that in the cast this season. There's kind of like I don't know how to describe it, but it's just not, it doesn't have a glue organism to it.
I agree. It doesn't have an organism to it. I don't know. Why is that the perfect way of putting that in?
It was like almost castrated.
I think it's dated. Okay, this is my big opinion on The Bachelor now versus The Bachelor like 20 years ago. I feel like The Bachelor 20 years ago, you could get more away with this like all the women are by default like, gaga over the guy, where they're like trying to like grab money off the ground to spend on a t-shirt that smells like him. But I think today that's dated and weird.
It is.
And so this sort of energy of them all like, oh, I hope Grant imprints on me. And like, oh, I hope that, like, I feel like we're now in an era where we're allowed to watch cool, chill, smart women be like, I'm not sure. Like that actually went well. And so for it to be this sort of like, it feels a little like.
It feels camp.
It feels
like the Brady Bunch remake, the movie they did, which is, by the way, hilarious.
Oh, I never saw it.
One of the funniest movies I've seen in the last 20 years.
Really?
I mean, in top 10.
Okay.
Not like the funniest. But the Brady Bunch movie remake.
Okay.
It was a joke. It was like a spoof.
Okay.
But it was like if the Brady Bunch existed now, the way they were in the 60s or the 70s.
That's a great example.
Yeah.
A couple things about this season I think feel more modern. I think it's a good call, like how they show these funny conversations with the women, about dreaming that your teeth are being ripped out.
It doesn't make sense. The fact all they had to do was make it, instead of a t-shirt that smelled like him, like his dirty underwear. And then that would be it. That's Brady Bunch movie.
Spend all your Grant bucks on his...
Yeah. Just like, oh, yeah.
That reminds me of an upcoming Q&A, Andy.
Oh,
remember?
Don't.
We recorded it, but it hasn't come out yet.
I don't, but I'm looking forward to it.
The teaser is skid marks.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so after Grant leaves, the women speculate who said what, and I loved this about Juliana. Juliana's she's coming up and up for me. Mm-hmm. She's like, okay, I don't think we need to pretend we don't know. Zoe, did you talk to Grant about this?
There you go.
I loved how she cut right to it. And this escalates very quickly with Zoe's like, I don't need to have this conversation. And they're like, okay, so we know our answer. And Zoe sort of cries, goes off in a huff, talking about how mean they are.
She's always a victim. She doesn't own anything.
No.
She doesn't even own her job description. She is a model / tech.
Yeah.
What was it?
Tech engineer
/ model. Make up your mind. Which one is it? What she's saying with that, she's like, don't think, no, I'm not just a model. I'm also a tech engineer. Mm-hmm. But I'm not just a tech engineer. Yeah.
I'm a model.
I'm also a model.
Yeah.
It just feels like she's like the lady doth protest. Like, just, it's okay. You can be a model or a tech engineer. We don't need to see both. We believe that you have value.
So what you're saying is she's being a bit like, I'm not like the other girls.
Right.
And I'm not like the other models. I'm not like the other tech engineers. She has a lack of humor. Like, just be a model or just be a tech engineer and then be like, oh, by the way, I'm also a model. Or by the way, I'm a tech engineer. I'm actually not sure it was tech engineer, but I do remember it was cool.
It was a tech something.
Okay, so it's the next day now. The women are all crying. It's a mansion full of crying ladies. Something about this is so funny. This particular property.
The mansion of tears.
It's so beautiful. And they're all just like, Alex in particular is crying kind of like hard.
She's got a good cry going.
She's really upset because she says she has really tried with Zoe. She's asked Zoe countless questions, I guess, about her pageantry. Was it pageants?
Pageants.
I shouldn't use the word pageantry. That's incorrect, right?
She asked her about her pageants.
Wait, oh my God. Pageantry can't be used in reference.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. Pageantry?
But that's kind of a different word. It has a different meaning, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Who cares?
Okay.
You're allowed to do it.
Well, Alex insists she has made an effort to ask Zoe. So apparently Zoe did show restraint because she's not only a tech engineer and a model, but she's also a pageant.
She's a pageant model.
Yeah, a pageant girl.
It's a heavy accreditation.
Yes. So she says that she has asked Zoe many questions. Zoe never asks any questions.
And that's particularly annoying because I don't care about pageantry. I don't care at all.
Yes.
Unless it's kids. I want to know what kind of mother puts their kids in those things. I need to know. I need to know what's going on. Yeah, I need to understand that.
I do feel like if you had a whole dinner with a pageant girl, you would be asking a lot of questions about her parents.
Yes. Yeah, but the little girl. Why would I be having dinner with a little girl?
No, I mean, let's say it's like a former Miss.
Oh, what her? No, USA. That's not what I meant. Little people, not little. Sorry. No. That's not what I meant. No. I meant young people, very young.
Yeah.
Whose mothers or fathers put them in pageants.
Yeah.
That I want to know what's going on.
Yeah,
there.
but you could ask them as an adult too.
But that's an area. Yes, I know I can ask a pageant girl what's going on with pageants, and I would get done with that very quickly. I'd be like, "What's going on with the pageant?" She'd tell me a couple things. I'd be like, "Okay, that's what I thought was going on with the pageant," and I'd be done with it. The fact that Alex made the effort to go to a topic that I'm sure has been discussed so many times in these mansions. How many people have been in pageants in these mansions? Is there ever a season where someone hasn't been in a pageant? There's so many pageant people.
Yeah.
She's asking her, she's being nice. Like, I'm going to ask you about pageants, even though I don't really care that much. And nothing comes back. That's classic Zoe.
That is Zoe. And it's also classic kind of thing that would rub us wrong in real life. That's the kind of thing that I can't stand.
Zoe, I thought, was playing a character night one.
Uh-huh.
Zoe's not playing a character.
She's a little self-centered. Just on this topic of pageant ladies, the pageant person I would want to have dinner with and ask about her parents regarding pageants is Kaylin Bell.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like she would give us good answers. Like, I feel like she's thought about it.
Yeah.
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 So I'm going to link our Love Fest with Kaylin and Dean right here because it was such a
Kaylin
good
Bell
one.
is our favorite pageant girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of all the pageant girls, yeah.
Not that we choose favorites.
No, we don't have
Andy.
favorites. Just a recent favorite.
Okay, so now Carolina has her one-on-one date. They take a private jet to Vegas. They freestyle on the plane. This was rather cute.
That's cute.
Carolina's,
She's trying.
Trying what?
She's trying. She's like, makes an effort.
Yeah, Carolina, what I like about Carolina is she brings personality
She does.
to the season.
She does.
Yes. Carolina is like an old school Bachelor contestant where it's like the season would be hurting without her, to be honest.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Grant in a voiceover says, I was teaching her some things on how to dance, and she's going to teach me some things about herself, I feel like.
Oh, Grant. We love him.
So this was a reference to them dancing on the Mario group date. But like, even this, I taught her things about dance, and now she's going to teach me things about herself. I feel like.
Look, they're.
I need to pick my battles. Okay. So they
Grant's
jump
trying.
off
He's
a building, Andy, 800 feet.
Yeah. I would not be into this.
Even Grant's fear involving this felt wooden to me.
Yeah, it wasn't enough.
I want him to loosen up. I want him to be Grant. I want him to be like the grantiest Grant that ever granted.
He's a day trader. He's got to keep it under control. He's got to keep his emotions in check. I will tell you this.
I feel like I don't know who he is. Even when he's afraid, he's like...
The one thing that makes a successful day trader, it's not knowing about companies. It's not understanding how to analyze charts, but that's all bullshit.
Okay.
It's all bullshit. You'll hear guys tell you, oh, look at this chart. It's bullshit.
Okay.
None of that works.
Okay.
The only thing that makes you money as a day trader is the ability to keep your emotions fully in check. When you get that gut feeling, that fear where you're like, oh, I got to get rid of this. Everyone's getting rid of it. That's where you buy.
Probably basketball too.
Yes.
It's probably not going to help him perform better under pressure to like get emotional.
Keep it in check.
Yeah.
Grant keeps his emotions in check.
Yeah. Plus, I think with his family background as well.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I want him to just like let it go.
Well, he's got 7 more episodes.
Yes, he does.
We'll see what happens.
I'm optimistic.
Yeah. Me too.
Okay, so unsurprisingly, they love jumping off this building so much that they do it again and again.
I think this, for me, is a good happy medium between bungee jumping and skydiving. Like, I feel like if forced to do this, I think I might be able to do this.
Yeah, I think what you don't like about bungee jumping is the coming back up.
Well, it's also the free fall. Oh. This was not a free fall. This was controlled. It was fast, but it was not free.
This was a ride.
It was like half free.
It was a ride.
It was a fast ride.
Yeah. Okay, so in the evening now, Andy, you said, oh, look, it's another feet in water dinner. Carolina opens up here about having a disability that people cannot see. She has epilepsy, it turns out. She started getting tremors at 13, and friends and romantic partners have let her down in this regard. She has felt, I guess, embarrassment and shame.
That's a weird thing to let someone down
right?
over. That's a weird thing to do.
Like, can you imagine someone has an epileptic seizure and you're like,
I'm not.
Can you imagine?
Don't want to deal with that hassle.
She's been keeping the wrong company.
Right?
Oh my God.
I would feel like that would make you more friends with them. Like you want to support them more.
You know, we both know people with epilepsy, and I don't think this has to be as debilitating. And it feels like she's been really keeping really poor company. It's really sad.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Grant, you know.
Oh, Grant's going to come through.
He nails it.
He's going to come through.
He says, you deserve someone to be there for you.
I mean, he's right again. He is right again.
There was so much build. The pause made me think something really, really deep was coming.
There was a lot of possible responses to that.
Yeah. No, I mean, she does deserve someone
once again, he's
be there
right.
For her.
He is right.
Yeah, and
he's right.
He says, I'm starting to feel feelings for you.
The old feeling of feelings.
He gives her the rose. And the next day now, we learn Beverly. Okay, this is crazy. This is just like in a throwaway ITM. We learn Beverly was very sick and suddenly isn't coming back.
Beverly is no longer with us.
What do you think happened here? Do you think she got sick?
The whole arc of Beverly makes no sense to me. Like, first of all, I didn't understand why she was picked for a one-on-one. I felt like
they had a bit of a moment at the last rose ceremony cocktail party.
I didn't see much of anything.
I mean, no more than anyone else, honestly.
I have an opinion on this. I think she was panicked. I think she had some panic problems. I don't think she was ready for the spotlight.
Oh, you think she was like overwhelmed by the cameras, by this?
Yeah, because what else? Like, okay, let's say she had like a cold or maybe if she got food poisoning or something. That's like a 24, 48 hour thing you can just deal with.
Yeah.
Right?
If
like,
you
what's
really
the
did
sickness?
I agree. If you really wanted to be there,
you
would recover from your illness and stay.
Hey, if she had like an appendicitis, okay.
Yeah, but why wouldn't they say she had appendicitis?
Right. They didn't. The fact that they didn't say it to me means it was a psychological thing. I think she may have had some panic, maybe some anxiety. I can understand too.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Suddenly you're like, oh, I'm going to be in the spotlight. And you suddenly realize that millions of people are watching you.
Oh, so you think part of her anxious reaction might have been getting the one-on-one date and realizing.
Oh, no, that was the spark.
Oh.
Otherwise, she's in the background. She can deal with it.
Yeah.
But when she suddenly realized she was going to be in the spotlight, I think maybe she panicked. I don't know. What else could it have been?
No, it reminds me a bit of Jonathan from Joan's Golden Bachelorette season. Remember, he was one of the guys. He was on his group dates. And suddenly when he got his own one-on-one, he was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like now there's something to really, you could mess up.
I think people don't put themselves in the shoes of the people on these shows enough. I'm not saying they're bad people for not doing that. You just watch your shows and not have to put yourself in their shoes. But if you do put yourself in their shoes, everyone's been in these situations. Unless you're like a ridiculously extroverted, confident person. You've been in situations in public where you feel like you're like, I don't know if I can handle this. Like, I think I'm going to freak out.
Oh, it's so
everyone's been there.
Yeah.
And imagine being on this show where like you are now going to be the center of attention for everyone in the country. Well, now fewer people than usual, but a lot of people in the country.
Honestly, one of the things I love about you, husband, is your ability to think like that. Because I think the surface level way to look at this is like, oh, she got a one-on-one date with Grant, so she's now going to like, you know, it means that she's going to shine. She's going to move forward in her relationship on the show and all these things. But I think you're entirely right. Like when I look back to my experience, the one-on-one date was a mixture of emotions. Part of you feels special. You're happy you got it because you're like, oh, I was chosen, like amongst all these gorgeous women. You're like, oh, me? But then another part of you is like, oh, like it's kind of like shrinking violet. Yeah. It's like, oh, wait, this is like a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah. And for just being you, that's the other thing. It's a lot of pressure you want to be liked, but you have nothing to work with but yourself.
Yeah, it's a very easy recipe for a panic attack.
No, it's a really good point. Okay, so we got to the bottom of that.
Meanwhile, Valerie's like, I just had the stomach flu. What's wrong with you? Oh. Sorry, whatever her name is. Vanessa?
Her mission is accomplished.
Victoria? What's her name? It's a V.
It's Beverly.
Oh, there's a V in there, right in the middle.
All I'm saying is her mission is accomplished. You've already forgotten her name.
That's true.
Okay, so Allie Jo is now speculating what will happen instead on whatever date's coming. And she says, I feel like it's not going to be as many women.
Another offender.
Yes. Well, I don't think... We know it's not only Grant, although Grant does it every time without fail. He's a sure thing.
Yeah.
But... multiple women on the season do it.
This is a Gen Z thing.
Yes. We've seen comments saying it's a Gen Z thing, and I think they're right.
They're right. It's a Gen Z thing. People are getting loose with language these days.
Loose.
And maybe, you know, people from like the 1800s would look at me and be like, you're speaking like an animal. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And this is just the way it goes. And we got to accept it. Woman and women are no longer different words. It's just whatever you want it to be.
Yeah. I mean,
okay with it.
Yeah. You know what it does? It makes you have to think for an extra second when someone says a sentence. Like whenever he does it and it's the wrong one, I'm like, oh, okay, I know what he means.
Right.
It just takes a second.
It's a little jarring because it's a totally different meaning.
Yes. And I'm like, this is my mother tongue. Why doesn't that make sense? Oh, okay.
Right.
Yes. Okay, so the new group date is made up of Serafina, Dina, and Litia. There's really no explanation why it's these three.
But yeah, I think they've gone rogue in this season. They're just like trying to just put the pieces together.
Yeah. I'd love a little backstory, like he spoke about dogs with each of them or something. But it sounded kind of sounded like he just wanted more time with Litia, and he was like, okay, throw two others in there. Yeah. The three ladies meet Grant at a dog rescue called Vanderpump Dog. And they take photos. Oh,
that's the Vanderpump lady.
Yeah, so Lisa Vanderpump arrives.
What does she own the bar in Vanderpump? I don't know what's going on with Vanderpump. She owns a bar or something, or a restaurant? Is Vanderpump a bar?
I think people are going to be... I don't know if this is something we want to reveal. We don't know.
I am proud to not know.
Are we? Yeah. There might be a day.
So we start recapping.
Yeah, well, maybe. When Bachelor goes...
No, I kind of want to know more, but I think Vanderpump is the name of the bar, right? And she owns the bar, and then it's all the people who work there are the Vanderpump people.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
But it's great that she loves puppies.
Yeah.
Makes me want to see Vanderpump more.
Would you have been able to pick out Lisa Vanderpump in a crowd?
Zero. No. How is that even possible?
Okay, so they groom doggies. And I have to admit, I love how into dogs Grant is. This is my favorite thing about Grant.
Me too.
You know, this is him letting loose. This is him like just being his true self. He's like a little boy.
At the heart, he's just a really good, nice guy. He's like a kid at heart. It's like a good guy. His personality comes out with dogs.
When
he's allowed to be a kid.
Oh my God, even that ITM when he was like, this is how I talk to dogs. It's like, and he's like, yeah, that's how I talk to dogs.
He wants to let it out. He won't even let it out. There was more there. Yeah, there was more there.
There was so much more there in the doggy voice, but he didn't commit. He kept like checking himself.
He did.
Yeah. Okay, so Serafina has one-on-one time where they walk. I wrote this conversation doesn't feel believable.
No.
It was one of those conversations where they're talking about their connection. And Litia, great exchange with Litia here. I mean, I do think that they have a great connection, but something about this made me laugh. She says, like, obviously you're so handsome, you're cute, you're very sweet. And he says, I can tell that you're sincere. And that's one of the most attractive things that attracted me to you. And I'm very attracted to you.
Amazing.
Got it.
Yeah, I mean, once again, he's right on the money.
And out of nowhere, there's no discussion, there's no competition, there's nothing. All of a sudden we hear Grant say, tonight I'm having dinner with Litia. And this, Andy, is where you said that the show has gone improv. It did feel like kind of a free-for-all. Like what's going on?
What's going on? They've lost control of the ship. Once again, there was another season like this where the rudder was gone.
I would have loved to have even seen, like, I don't know. I understand that they want to evolve. I think the show should evolve. Yeah. Clearly, I think it's clear that I think that.
Evolve or die.
But just even like the three of them sitting at a table with him, and he's like, so, you know, the person I'd like to have dinner with tonight is so-and-so. Yeah. And just like make it zingy, you know, make it something. Like, don't rob us of their reactions. Right. I don't know. It just felt kind of like, okay, and now tonight I'm having dinner with Litia.
The problem is like with movies. You ever see movies where like in some part of the movie, like one of the leads dies and you're supposed to care? Yeah. You're like, I don't care because you didn't develop these characters enough. Totally. I actually almost wanted this person to die because this is annoying. I didn't care about them at all.
100%.
I feel kind of that way in this season. Like I don't really care about anybody. Mm-hmm. And that's, I don't know. I don't know what that's a function of, but there's something missing.
It is only
season.
episode 3.
But I usually care about someone by now.
I agree.
Yeah. Don't care about anybody.
By episode 3, you cared about Devin.
I don't know why you got to bring that up. I don't know why you got to bring that up.
That will never not be brought up, Andy. Okay, so back at the mansion, Carolina, we start to see Carolina growing increasingly jealous. She said she had such a great time on her date that she's having a hard time being back and knowing, she's barely caught her breath from her date and he's on a date with 3 other women. She says it makes her wish she hadn't gone on her date.
Oh, Carolina.
Kiss of death.
Welcome back to another Dear Shandy Cozy Earth ad. How are you, Sharleen?
Oh, I'm good, Andy. How are you today?
Well, I'm doing quite well in my luxurious and oft-worn Cozy Earth lounge pants.
Viscose from bamboo. They're so soft, so cushy. I think it says it all that we are on the road, and Andy's never without them. Not only is he wearing them when we record, but they're also your travel pants.
These pants have seen now what? 6 countries? 8? 10?
And look, still black as the day we got them. They haven't faded, no pilling, no stretching.
It's interesting because I have black pants,
yes,
right? And I'll put them up against black, and I'm like, no, these pants are not black.
Yeah,
they're like reddish brown now.
Charcoal gray, yeah.
I put these up to black. Black cowers at these.
So Cozy Earth, I'm sure you Shandies know by now, is one of our OG sponsors, but we will never stop singing the praises of Cozy Earth. We will have them for as long as they'll have us.
After this podcast is over, we will sing the praises of Cozy Earth.
Yes, that's actually one of the things that we'll get to keep after Dear Shandy is over is Cozy Earth.
And I miss my Cozy Earth sheets when I'm on the road as much as I miss a loved one.
I miss those sheets. They're made from viscose from bamboo, so they are more sustainable, but they're also cooling. They're super, super soft. They're breathable.
No tearing, no pilling.
In fact, it's one of the reasons that I am eager to get home, even though I love it here in Seattle, but I am looking forward to that first night, that first lay.
Do you think our Cozy Earth sheets miss us?
I'd like to think so. I mean, we treat them pretty well.
They miss us.
So surprise your loved ones with Cozy Earth.
Get up to 40% off at cozyearth.com/Shandy using code Shandy.
Again, that's cozyearth.com/Shandy. And remember that if you get a post-purchase survey, to let them know Dear Shandy sent you.
So Sharleen, the other day I was picking up a contact lens solution in the pharmacy. And I looked around me and the surroundings were unfamiliar.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
Apostrophe is giving me the gift of not having to go to the pharmacy.
As often. Yes, to pick up maybe prescription skincare that maybe you had prescribed by a doctor or a dermatologist who you would also have to go see, by the way. Maybe you can skip all of that altogether with Apostrophe, which connects you with board-certified dermatologists so you can take their online skin consultation, take selfies of your skin, describe what your skincare concerns are, and then a real board-certified dermatologist will review that information, prescribe you prescription skincare. We are talking oral and topical. And then the kicker is you can defamiliarize yourself with the pharmacy because it will get delivered directly to your door. You never have to leave your sofa. This is massive. This is coming, by the way. I'm raising my hand as someone who used to go to the doctor to get a prescription for my tretinoin. And then I used to go to the pharmacy to get that. I now bypass that entirely. And for me personally, I've been using prescription tretinoin for well over a decade. I first started using it for acne, for like bumps. I didn't even know if it was acne. It was just like bumps. I got these bumps on my jawline that weren't really poppable. They have gone away. It is also amazing for like aging. Yeah. The aging process, tretinoin. You can Google it if you don't believe me, but it's really one of the top ingredients you can use, and you can only get it by prescription.
And let's not forget the 3 sisters, chest knee, back knee, and butt knee.
The 3 stepsisters, the evil stepsisters. Yes, because you might not only have acne on your face, it might be on your body, on your chest, your back, your butt. How great.
And do you want to go to the doctor to tell him where that acne is?
Yeah, it's a lot easier to show a photo, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So we have a very special deal for our listeners, the Shandies, right now. You can get your first visit with an Apostrophe provider for only $5 when you go to apostrophe.com/Shandy and enter promo code Shandy. That is a savings of $15, and this offer is only available to our listeners.
To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/Shandy and click Get Started.
Then use our code Shandy at sign up, and you'll get your first visit for only $5. And we thank Apostrophe for sponsoring this episode. Okay, so now it's the evening with Litia. We learned that Grant grew up in New Jersey. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
I don't know if I would have guessed that.
Huh.
I do think he is most himself in this conversation with Litia, where he opens up about how he felt his father would talk about his mother like she was the bad guy. But as he got older, he started to recognize that his mother was actually the one holding down the fort. He loves his mother, but she was not as affectionate as he would have liked. And so that's what he really wants. And you get that from him. Like even how he was with those dogs and how he is with, like, I feel like he wants to like be hugged and kissed and nurtured. And I don't know. It's sweet.
I think we saw some of the real Grant come out in this conversation.
I agree. So Litia, we learn a bit about her. To be honest, we didn't learn anything new about her backstory, except that her mother is from Idaho. Her father's from Fiji. We already knew that he had passed away when Litia was only 3 months old. She says her mother is her greatest example of resilience. We learned that she's very close with her family, her mother, to the point where all rules are broken, Andy. All rules, because they FaceTime her mother.
What's going on with that?
I mean, I guess it was sweet, but I was like, what?
Yeah.
How is this allowed? I think Grant made it kind of seem like he's the one that made it happen.
I think it's a tell.
Yes.
I mean, if he let that happen, Litia's going places.
Agree. He gives Litia the rose, and something about his expression as he offers it to her, I was like, she's either winning or he's a little bit drunk.
Could be both.
One or the other. Okay, so back at the mansion, Carolina is still crying. We learn that off camera, she had a conversation with Rose where Rose had said something very interesting. So this was the whole Rose Grant comment thing. I am still trying to figure out. She basically says that Grant said that while Grant was dancing with Carolina on the Mario group date, he was thinking of Rose. What an interesting thing to have.
Make up.
For Rose to have made up.
Well, that's the thing. It's one of those, she said. She
said maybe she misheard.
Yeah,
she's like, I could have sworn.
Thing to mishear.
But here's the other thing is like, let's say you did hear that. Okay. And I say this, I want to preface what I'm about to say by saying I like Rose.
Yeah, you keep it to yourself.
That's the thing. Like if Grant, if you were 100% sure that Grant told you this, why would you tell the woman who he was dancing with, who he wasn't thinking about?
Well,
why would you tell her that?
The interesting thing about that is there's kind of a circular reasoning where it's like, if she told her that, she's the kind of person who would mishear it in the first place.
Yeah, I actually didn't believe that Rose actually said this until she basically admitted it. She admitted
it. I wouldn't have believed it either.
Because Carolina, I could picture misinterpreting what Rose had said and like kind of put words in her mouth. I could picture Carolina doing that. Yeah. But it turns out
Rose a bit of a snake.
We'll circle back to that. Okay, so now it's the next day and the ladies receive corsages because they are going to prom.
Is it corsage, plural?
Corsages?
Just corsage, like a fish?
They receive corsage.
I'd like to think it's just corsage, but you're right. It's probably corsages.
Andy, you said
sounds weird.
More prom. They're really relying on the prom theme a lot these days.
That's the anchor.
Grant, we learned, was so dedicated to basketball, he never went to prom. And we are joined now by Golden Bachelorette men, Gary, Jack, Jonathan, and Keith. I gotta say, as much as I am delighted to see these four gentlemen again, I think it would have been way more interesting to have brought back age-appropriate former Bachelorette contestants, so men, and
watch them mingle.
That would have given
drinks had here and there.
Yes,
who knows what's going to happen?
Right, like maybe some friends from Jen's season, and just seeing if any flirtation. Friends. Oh my God, that would have been so much more interesting. Mm-hmm. Instead, they're just like,
it was kind of gratuitous. They're just like squeezing the lemon, get a little more juice out of that, get some Golden Bachelor in here.
Yeah.
What else can we throw on the fire?
Yeah.
Who cares?
It didn't do anything.
What
if
value
anything,
add?
It was almost a little weird.
Were they their parents? Is that what they were supposed to be? Their parents in this situation?
Yeah, like chaperones.
Otherwise it had no purpose.
I agree. And if anything, it's not like they have a relationship built with these men. It's not like they're like uncles or anything. So it's just like these men in their 60s, like with dancing.
It reminded me of like, I don't know if anyone's old enough to remember this, but back in like the 80s, like you watched like the Cosby Show. I can't say that either. Can't watch the Cosby Show. You can't even talk about the Cosby Show.
Okay.
But I watched the Cosby Show before Cosby turned into a monster.
Okay,
I didn't know. How was I supposed to know Cosby was a bad guy?
Obviously no one knew then.
No one knew.
Okay.
No one.
You were allowed to say you watched the Cosby Show.
I watched the Cosby Show. Like, nope, that's it. You're canceled. Like, what? No, but Cosby used to have people on
Okay.
where it was like some random musician and there was no function of that person in the story. Hardly. They threw some little something like he was teaching with kids how to play music or something.
Okay.
But he'd just walk in the door and there'd be a big applause from the live audience.
Okay.
And he'd be like, hey, I'm, Stevie Wonder. And they'd be like, oh, wow, Stevie Wonder's here. And they'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah, great. And that'd be it. He'd never come back in the show.
Okay.
They just literally threw him in as a guest just to like get, ratings, but he didn't have a role in the show.
Okay.
That's what I feel like this is.
Yeah.
It's like, give them something. This is just complete gratuitousness.
Yeah, I agree. I think if they were going to bring back golden contestants, it would have been smarter to bring back older women where it's more like, oh, we're giving you advice and we're like, you're like cool aunt, that kind of vibe.
They had some golden bachelors who were willing to be on the show and they threw them in there.
Yeah. So Dina asks Grant to prom and they talk a bit about success now. Dina apparently is very successful. Yeah. She's one of those people that slips in how successful
she likes to talk about it. Yeah,
I love it when people are like in passing, they're like, I have a great salary and
You know what Dina is?
I make a lot of money.
I'm going to tell you something about Dina. I think Dina's probably very good at her job.
I agree.
And I think she's a bit scary to be in the courtroom with.
Oh, you think she's like
I think she comes at you.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't think you want to see her on the other side.
She says she works hard and plays hard. I mean, she does have lawyer energy.
Oh, such
We
lawyer
have enough
energy.
lawyer friends to know what lawyer energy looks like.
Lawyers play hard.
I have never seen and I went to like theater school, right? Like music school. I have never seen people party as hard as lawyers.
It's unbelievable. I dated a lawyer.
Yes, Andy dated a lawyer quite seriously.
And it was like every other weekend was barfing drunk.
Yeah, lawyers love a good time because they work so hard. They're looking at so much mind-numbing text every day. Okay, so there's one-on-one time with Zoe where she has decided she's in a better mood.
Better mood now. So what's the better mood Zoe going to be like?
No, it's just kind of like making out and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand the transition, what happened between the women.
That's another thing. We're not really following the plot line.
No, something was patched up at some point, but we don't know what, why, when, who, where.
I got to be honest, I feel sorry for the editor of this season. I have a feeling they weren't given a lot.
Meanwhile, Carolina is spiraling. She goes, spiraling. And we get word watch 1. Carolina says, Grant, can I steal you for a second? So Carolina, she tells Grant that someone, she's not going to say who, and to her credit, she never does say who. She doesn't say it,
and he guesses.
That someone told her that he told them that he was thinking of them while he was dancing on stage with Carolina. And he's like, was it Bailey?
How hilarious is this? No one's ever done that before. He's just guessing.
Was it Bailey?
It's got to be Bailey. Oh, it's not Bailey? Oh.
Dina?
Oh, Dina. It's
Litia?
Dina, right? Oh, not Dina either. Ooh.
And she's like, no, but I don't want it to be a thing. And I find it kind of shocking that he was like, oh, it must be Rose then.
Yeah. He did the matter of elimination.
I guess he was doing the math of who he had spoke. It's funny. I'm like, how did he know?
I don't know. I was impressed. It was good detective work.
He really deduced that quickly.
Yeah.
He takes this very poorly. Very poorly. He confronts Rose.
Pissed off.
Yeah, I guess he says it's, it makes him look like a player.
Well, let me ask you this. Is he pissed off because he said it to her in confidence and he feels betrayed? Or is he pissed off because he didn't say it?
I think he didn't say it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that.
I'm not really sure what happened here, but I'm putting a lot of stock into what we just talked about, which is that Rose would tell Carolina this information. It innately...
It makes her a bad narrator.
It makes me see Rose differently because even if she's 100% sure, and even if Grant did say this, you still don't tell us to the person that he wasn't thinking about.
You don't tell it to anybody.
Yes. So that immediately makes me see Rose like in a different light.
I agree.
A less rose-colored light.
Very nice.
Rose says that she and Carolina were spiraling, comparing notes. And she really, really, really thought that's what he had said. And he's pretty furious. And Rose in her ITM says that what she told Carolina was private. So she's upset that Carolina said this to Grant.
Yeah. Oh,
but I actually want to be Team Rose in this. I'm going to be honest, because I like Rose. And I think Carolina has some questionable reactions to things. And I'm not like the biggest, I like Grant, fine, whatever. But I actually like Rose. So I want to be Team Rose, but I am having a hard time finding her very defensible in this.
But also, if you, as a friend of mine, tell me something that hurts me,
yes,
that I don't need to know,
yes,
why am I not allowed to then disseminate that information?
Yeah.
It's different if you tell me something like, oh, by the way, I just want you to know this person's out to get you. You better watch out.
Totally.
And they're right. And then I do something to avoid being got.
Yeah.
And I thank them.
Yeah.
Instead, it's like, oh, by the way, this guy doesn't like you much. He likes me.
Yeah.
Like, but don't tell anybody that.
What I'm telling you is private.
Yeah, this is between us two. It's girl talk.
The women, meanwhile, are all upset that Carolina is getting all this time despite having a rose, because Grant does report back to Carolina, who is appeased. And now the golden bachelorette men give all the ladies crowns. They're all prom queens, Andy. Which means that it means just as much.
It does. Does.
Yes.
It's a participation award.
It is a participation award. So now it's the rose ceremony. Going home are Allie Joe, who we never got to witness box. Bailey, who was such a hoot this episode, and I'm so sad. And Chloe, who I actually really, really liked and thought I would have liked to have seen more. Yeah. I thought it was kind of a hit for me this week. It's not that I don't like the women who are still around, but I actually particularly liked these three. Okay, Andy, that brings us to the end of the episode. Who is your A-game winner? Let it come to you naturally.
Litia?
Okay.
Yeah, give it to her again.
It
wasn't a lot of game, period. Wasn't a lot of good action.
Yeah, but I mean, she brought out a side of Grant that we haven't seen.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I give it to Litia.
Okay, no argument here. So for fashion now, I have a tie for best dressed again. First up, I have Alex in her rose ceremony gown. It was a pale, pale yellow. And it had a sort of like sweetheart neckline with these sort of slightly off the shoulder. There was like a princessy vibe to this dress. A little Beauty and the Beast, but in a modern way. The material was like a silk satin. It was really beautiful and unexpected. The color was so cool. It looked amazing on her. And her hair was half up with these like tousled pieces. And she had like a simple pearl necklace. It was so feminine. I don't know. It's like something very traditional, but also modern about it. Like the color made it really modern. I just really, really liked this on her. I thought her styling was great. She looked beautiful. There was another pale yellow gown worn by Natalie that I loved the lower half of, but I thought the upper half, which was just this sort of simple bandeau, there was no structure to it. It felt a little too casual for how dressy the lower half was. So that's why it did not make my list, in case anyone was wondering, because I feel like you were. And the other winner is Litia in her sea foam. I wrote sea foam, but it auto-corrected to seafood. Seafoam green, glittery, slinky gown. I gotta say, Litia, the girl can dress. She's got interesting pieces. The only thing, again, just like last week, I love this gown. I was angling for more shots of it. Her hair was just down in the same way again. Yeah. If she had worn like a big power pony with this dress, it would have been like red carpet. It would have been amazing. Anyway, just saying. She looked gorgeous, though. I loved this dress. Okay, Andy, that brings us to our word watch. There was one steal.
One solitary steal.
One solitary steal, as far as we could tell.
Yeah, may have been more.
We are fallible. We are human.
We've done it before.
We're 99% sure there was one steal.
We try our best.
And
no AI involved.
No. And our winner is Betty Cayuette. Congratulations. You are the winner of $100 to spend at Furano Studio, one of my all-time favorite jewelry stores online. So please email us by this Friday at midnight to claim your prize. And Andy, what is the word for next week?
My word is going to be the lack of a word. It's going to be a censored word, a bleep.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
I like that, especially on this season. I'm not sure what we're going to get on that front. Okay. It could be like 0. It could be 10.
Could be anything.
Yeah. Because this season doesn't have a, like you said, what did you say? It doesn't have
organism?
An organism. Yeah, there's no way to know.
No way to know.
Okay, so if you would like to join in the Shandy Word Watch Fun and have a chance to win a prize, then you will guess the number of times there is a bleep in episode 4. You will do so by using the numeral of the number of times you expect. You can use the word bleep, I guess, in your comments.
Absolutely.
And Word Watch. Do not email us. Do not DM us. You keep DMing us. It doesn't
DM
work.
us, but
It's
not about
gonna
Word
enter you.
Watch, yeah.
Do it by this Friday at midnight. And if you guess correctly, you will be entered in a draw. And then one name will be plucked, and that person will win. We have the same prize this week as last week. So $100 to spend at Furano Studio. We have a deal, a link in case you don't win, but you're like, but I like her stuff.
Yeah.
So submit your guess by this Friday at midnight to be entered. And Andy, finally, our predictions. We'll do 1, 2, 3, and then the name. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Litia. Oh my God. Yes.
I saw that coming.
Talk about a turn.
That's the biggest turn in the history of the franchise.
She went from being
zero to hero.
Okay, never. She was never a zero.
No one's a zero.
But it's an expression.
In the chances of winning, she went from a zero to a hero.
Yes, we thought that she was like, we thought she was
Night
a periphery character. Yeah, I thought she was going to go in like the first 3 episodes, but now I think she could be winning. Okay, 1, 2, 3 for second place. 1, 2, 3.
Zoe.
Alex. No,
I'm
Zoe.
doing it. I'm doing it.
Really?
I'm doing it.
I don't see it.
All right.
I feel like we're being fed that Zoe's some front runner, but I think it's just really because, there's some chemistry, but I don't think this is a real thing.
All right.
Personally. Okay. Third place. 1, 2, 3. Juliana. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And in fourth place.
My fourth place is crazy. I'm going nuts on this one.
Wow. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Natalie. Dina.
Just trying to see it.
Really?
Trying to see a dark horse.
Oh, I think Natalie's the dark horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. No? Dina. I mean, Dina's definitely going to stick around, but I think she's going to go like week 6, 7.
So I'll tell you something about Dina. Dina gets what she wants.
I believe that, though. I really do believe that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Andy, that is a wrap for this recap.
All right.
In Vancouver.
The Couve.
If you enjoyed what you heard today, you know what we will ask of you, and that is to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us on Instagram and
TikTok.
Leave us Apple and
Spotify.
Podcast ratings and reviews. Tell your friends and generally do all the things you do to support a podcast you enjoy. And just to circle back a bit, leave reviews if you can.
Please.
It means a lot to us and actually really helps us.
It does.
And it makes us stick around.
Hey,
she
watch
said
it.
unthreateningly.
Watch it.
Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. Ruby.
She's got so much seed here.
Oh, she took over. Oh, Ruby, come to mommy. Come to mommy. Yes. Oh, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Dear Shandy. Bye-bye. Dear Shandy.
She's a bumblefloofy.
Look at this face.
She's a face.
Look at this face.
Look at the face.
Never has.
Also, look at the bum. Show them her bum.
bum?
Just show it to them.
It's the cutest bum in the world. Look at
Look
that
at
bum.
that. I mean, are you kidding me? How does it get better than that?